us about febrile seizure.
Febrile just basically means that when your body temperature increases to abnormal levels, very high body temperature, this interferes with your brain functioning and can precipitate a seizure. So it often happens in children because their brains are quite sensitive, and so you can have a child having a seizure because the temperature is too high. That's not epilepsy, or it's just purely caused by the high temperature. And often when children have an infection, it can be as simple as an ear infection or a throat infection, and that if a child is vulnerable, they can actually develop this convulsion. The important thing is actually when children are sick and they have a temperature is that we must reduce that temperature to prevent that, all right? Because when you're having that excessive firing and when you're having an epileptic attack, during that time you're not breathing, and the blood flow to your brain is also compromised. So there is a slight risk of you causing damage to your brain every time you have an epileptic attack. So that is why it's important for you to prevent having those seizures. That's why we treat epilepsy, because each time you're having that, you're not breathing, so there's less oxygen going there to your brain, but also you can fall and then injure your brain. And I spoke earlier about brain health, and that the more trauma, the more damage that you have to the physical structure of the brain, then that also compromises your brain health. So febrile seizures children, so it's a message to parents, is that your child is having a temperature, don't ignore it, all right? Because you never know when it can spike. And then if your child is at risk, as I said, not every child will have a seizure, all right, a febrile seizure, but those that are vulnerable can have that. It's a very scary experience for parents and for the child as well. So it can be prevented.
What causes it?
Any infection or any infection that causes an increase in your body temperature. So if you have a temperature, well, we say temperature in lay terms, but an elevated temperature, body temperature.
Mental health matters. Mental health matters.